Welcome back to Narutovember, the whole month where we're going to be talking about Naruto! Konoha Crush. This is kind of a shorter arc, but a lot of crazy stuff happens in here, and I know in the last one we met Orochimaru for the first time, and we know he's up to something, but we didn't know what. And this episode, we get to see what his kind of big scheme was.
It all comes together.
There was like a month time skip, right? So they have a month to prepare for the actual Chunin Exams tournament.
Right, 1 month to prepare for the tournament, so they can learn new techniques and prepare for fighting their new opponents.
In this month, we meet a new character. One more new character, only one.
Yeah, Jiraiya.
Jiraiya Sensei.
Jiraiya.
So Naruto ends up meeting him at a public bathhouse. Kind of spying on the naked women, and at first we don't really know who this character is. It just seems like some guy being like a pervy old man, and then we come to find out he's a really, really important character. He is one of what are called the legendary ninja. There's Genin, and then Chunin, and then Jonin above that, and this level is called Sanin. It's such a high prestigious level that only 3 ninja have achieved it before. And Jiraiya is one of them. We also come to find out that Orochimaru is also one of the legendary 3 Sanin.
Right.
Which means there's a third one that we have yet to meet. But those are the only 2 we know about right now.
His initial character was just so kind of like, why are we watching this? Why is he here? Like, what is this going on? And then he like instantly knew things about Naruto that like, you know, some random person shouldn't have known.
Even though he's one of these legendary ninja and he's really like high powered and high level, he's kind of ridiculous because, as we mentioned, he's really like a pervert, and he writes romance novels. He's an author that writes romance novels, but he's also like one of these prestigious ninja that's really strong and really powerful. And it's funny to think that this guy of all people has achieved like this level of power. So he ends up kind of taking on a mentor role for Naruto. He ends up teaching Naruto, which is really awesome.
Right, because Kakashi told Naruto that he couldn't train him because Kakashi was doing something else.
While they were working together, this was the first time Naruto found out the truth about the demon fox.
It explained a lot of why he had trouble controlling the things and doing some of the jutsus at the very beginning of the show. It's because he has 2 different chakras inside of his body that are competing, and he can't control either one of them when they're both fighting over the same thing.
I liked the way that Naruto reacted. Like he wasn't like super taken aback. He wasn't upset or anything. He was just like, oh, this explains so much about my life. Jiraiya also teaches Naruto a new technique.
Finally, Naruto can do something other than summon a bunch of himself.
He learns a summoning technique. So summons are basically special kind of techniques where you can summon basically allies to come fight alongside you. Usually there's some kind of animal or whatnot. And he has to kind of teach Naruto how to control the demon fox chakra, because like that's a really huge resource inside of him that he has to learn to tap into. And do you remember what he does to like get him to finally tap into it? Because he can't do it.
He throws him off a cliff. It's like a bird when they push their kid, you know, their young ones out of the nest, right?
Yeah, that's
you gotta learn to fly or you're dead.
He summons not just any frog.
The king. Effectively,
the chief toad,
and this thing is huge.
Gamabunta. It's so funny when he summons Gamabunta. Even Jiraiya was surprised. He's like, oh wow, he summoned the big one.
It's like out of everybody that he could summon, he summons that one.
So that's all the kind of the main stuff that happens before the exam. Sasuke and Kakashi are off doing something, but we don't really know what. They do focus on Lee quite a lot, because Lee, after the events of the previous arc where he fights Gaara, he's basically kind of injured to the point where he can't really fight anymore. Like he's told like he should give up being a shinobi because his body was so badly damaged.
I think that Lee is, you know, he's in a very precarious place because that's the only thing that he wanted to do, and it's the only thing he really knows how to do. And without that, he feels defeated. He feels that he's got no way forward.
His whole life was basically taken away from him. And it sucks. You really felt bad for him. And so I liked that they kind of spent quite a bit of time kind of focusing on him and his struggle and everything.
And trying to recover and just get back to walking.
Now we get to go to the actual tournament, right?
First up
is Naruto versus Neji.
Well, I mean, Naruto's on the receiving end the entire fight.
Yeah,
Neji
just like every fight, right?
Yeah, Neji pulls out, you know, even more techniques than he used against Hinata, and soundly, you know, he thinks that he's got Naruto beat. He pulls off all of his chakra points.
He basically like beats the crap out of Naruto in such a way where Naruto can't like build up chakra. He can't do anything.
You know, Neji didn't know about the demon fox, and the demon fox chakra doesn't obey any of the chakra lines.
No, none of the kids know about the demon fox.
Right, none of them.
And they certainly don't know that it's imprisoned inside Naruto. All the adults know, so like there's an audience for this tournament, and so they're all watching, and they can see this happening. They see the demon fox kind of leaking out from his body. They get kind of scared.
Yeah, there's a couple of them about ready to, you know, wondering if they're gonna have to step in and stop the fight because they're thinking the demon fox is going to break out.
Naruto, he did the thing where he sort of demonstrated his ability to fight in
the heat of the moment.
The heat of the moment, just like in the heat of battle, like no thinking, you gotta figure it out, you gotta do something now. That's kind of one of my criticisms of the show.
He's always got a trick up his sleeve.
Yeah, well, they're always like supposedly underestimating him, but then you watch him, you're like, no, they're not.
No.
He's exactly what he looks like. He's just an idiot. Like, he's not a good ninja.
And then he just pulls something out of nowhere. They're like, where did you get that? And he's like, wouldn't you like to know? You got to learn a lot more about Neji and his past, and right. You know, kind of the more what happened between his dad and the Branch family.
Yeah, you definitely understand a lot about like kind of where he's coming from, why he has like the attitude that he does, why he sees things the way that he does. Next up, there's supposed to be a fight between Shino and Kankuro. So Shino, the bug ninja, and Kankuro, the puppet master from the Sand Village. But Kankuro bows out because like the whole time they're like there's supposed to be some kind of scheme going on in the background. We don't really know what, and so he's like, I don't want to fight Shino because I'm gonna have to like really fight against him, and I don't want to show all my techniques and give away all my secrets. He respected Shino enough to recognize that Shino was a really formidable opponent, and he probably wasn't gonna be able to beat him unless he like really tried.
All out.
So Shikamaru, the brilliant ninja who's too lazy to actually like put effort into anything, he has the shadow binding technique, and then Tamari, the female sand ninja, the oldest of the siblings, who has the giant fan.
He does like the least amount of possible to get by what he needs to do. He really doesn't do any more.
Yeah, he's not a flashy fighter at all, which kind of makes him hard to fight because like you don't really know what he's capable of because all of his power is like right here. It doesn't come from like his strength or his chakra or anything. It's his mind, which is, how do you fight that? The best thing about him is that he keeps doing things, and it seems like the things he keeps doing keep failing. And so it's just like, oh, he's never gonna be able to beat her. But then you find out, it's like, oh no, he was planning to do that. He was manipulating her the whole time, basically from the very start of the fight. So
Tamari prides herself on being very intelligent. You know, she's always been kind of the leader of her group and the one that strategizes.
But like Shikamaru's just like way smarter than she is. He's way smarter than basically everybody. He's smarter than his own teacher. You kind of get to see like the audience, and especially the Hokage, they're like really impressed with what he did, because the whole point of this exam is not to like see who wins the tournament. It's to showcase their skills as a ninja, to decide if they have the ability to kind of become a leader as a Chunin. I like watching Shikamaru fight because his fights are so different from all the others. Like all the others are kind of really visceral and just like in your face and kind of flashy. And then he's over here just kind of fighting really quietly, and you never know what he's gonna do or what he's thinking because he's so far ahead of you in terms of like his strategy that there's just no way to catch up. So Sasuke versus Gaara. As we know, Gaara's got something going on with him.
He talks about validating his existence.
Oh god, he's such a creepy dude.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go validate my existence, and what does he do? He goes kills a bunch of people.
Yeah, he validates his existence by murdering people. Now keep in mind, Gaara, up to this point, hasn't really been able to be touched. You've got to be wondering, like, what's Sasuke gonna do against this? Like, there's no way to hurt the guy. So during this fight, you get to see all of kind of the results of Sasuke's training, which up to this point you didn't really hear much about. It was all kind of kept in secret. This whole special training that they underwent was to teach Sasuke an attack called the Chidori. It's basically just like a lightning ball in your hand, and you just like stab somebody with it, essentially. So this is actually Kakashi's signature attack. Now, Sasuke has an advantage with this attack in the sense that Sasuke has the Sharingan eyes, and the Sharingan, what it does is it allows you to kind of see through ninjutsu. He can use that Sharingan in conjunction with the Chidori to find the opening to land that Chidori.
He pulls out a level of speed that, you know, only at this point had been seen by Lee. And so if you can move faster than the sand, you can beat the defense.
And then he manages to injure Gaara. And at that point, all hell breaks loose.
Orochimaru had planted a bunch of people and orchestrated a huge attack on the Hidden Leaf Village, coordinating both the Sand Village as well as the Sound Village.
There's two main fights that happen here. So Gaara manages to escape with his siblings Temari and Kankuro, and then Sasuke goes after them, and then Naruto and Shikamaru and Sakura also go after them, and then Orochimaru shows up and he imprisons the third Hokage in like a box.
Yeah.
An energy box, I guess.
It's like a force field.
This fight was kind of neat because Orochimaru summons the first and the second Hokages from the dead, which I think is a real testament to how strong the third Hokage is, even though he's an old man by that point. Even Orochimaru, as scary as he was, especially when we met him in the Chunin exam arc, he still like fears the power of the third Hokage.
Absolutely.
Like he's like, I don't think I can do this by myself.
He's like, I'm not even gonna try it. He's like, I'm gonna, get some help from the two strongest people I know besides the third Hokage. Definitely one of the better fights.
Watching the third Hokage fight was really, really cool because he's supposedly like a master of all the ninjutsus. The third Hokage, he has a monkey summon. It's the Monkey King.
He's very clearly the Monkey King from the Chinese folklore, right? The Journey to the West.
Meanwhile, back in the forest, Sasuke and Naruto and Shikamaru and all them are chasing Gaara and the other sand ninja. So Sasuke eventually does catch up to them because he started chasing them in advance. And then Kankuro decides to stay behind to fight him, to slow him down. And then Shino shows up. And so Shino's like, hey, I'm over to fight.
I want you.
I'm good.
We were gonna fight. I want to fight.
You owe me a battle, son. Kankuro, who's one of the sand ninja, who's very, very strong, very powerful, versus Shino, this creepy bug dude.
So you get to see more of Kankuro's his puppets and the fact that they're loaded with all kinds of different like weapons and tools.
It's almost like if Batman's utility belt came to life and he could actually fight with it. And he controls it with like these chakra strings. And that's kind of how Shino was able to attack. Because his little bugs, because they're bugs, you don't pay attention to bugs, right? Especially tiny little bugs.
They just traveled along the chakra lines.
It was a really good fight though. They were really evenly matched. Naruto and Sakura and Shikamaru are kind of following behind. And there's a point where they end up getting followed by other ninjas. And basically one of them has to stay behind in order to kind of slow them down, kind of make the sacrifice while the others could continue chasing. They should have just left Sakura, let's be honest. She
doesn't do anything else.
She's just a massive burden to everybody.
She just stands around and goes, oh my god, why are we doing this?
Help me, I'm useless. But Shikamaru ends up making the sacrifice in this whole situation, which was really interesting because it kind of goes against like his character, right?
But he does care, and that's kind of
he does really care. When push comes to shove in those really dire situations, he can be trusted, he can be relied on. He understands when sacrifices need to be made and who has to make them. Sasuke catches up to Gaara again. So we get to see the epic conclusion to the Sasuke-Gaara match that was started earlier.
So the arm that was there before is now it starts manifesting in other parts of his body as the fight goes on.
Yeah, he starts like transforming into this thing. Sasuke is just like, what the heck are you? Because like up to this point, nobody knew there was anything special about him. They just knew he was kind of scary and dangerous, but they didn't know why. Because like Gaara's like transformed into this like different state that makes him so much more powerful, and Sasuke just can't keep up. He almost dies fighting Gaara.
Right, because he succumbs to both Gaara's strength and the damage that he inflicts on himself with the curse mark. And
eventually Naruto and Sakura show up. So Naruto shows up, the useful one.
Sakura just like stands by Sasuke and goes, oh Sasuke, I'm so sorry, why'd you get hurt?
Sakura, who of course ends up getting captured by the like partially transformed demon Gaara thing. Then Sasuke, he showed like a moment of like actual kind of compassion for his friends where he basically said, look, I will take care of Gaara. Naruto, you need to rescue Sakura and get out of here. I will not let you guys die. So this was kind of like a big moment for him.
Right, to finally, openly admit that he cares about the people that he's been spending all of this time with.
I know, he's such a grumpy, angsty child. It's like, oh, I hate everyone. I'm not gonna be your friend. The friends are for weaklings. But then he realizes like, no, I have friends and I care if they get hurt. I do not want them to get hurt.
And my friends care about me. That's why they're here.
So Sasuke, he decides to make the ultimate sacrifice. Sasuke just doesn't have the strength to do it. He can't move.
Yeah.
So it comes down to Naruto to save the day.
Gaara finishes the his transformation.
Yeah, he finishes the transformation. It's just like this giant hulking, like
ferret, beaver.
It's a raccoon, but he's huge. He's like this giant monster now. Naruto, he's like, oh, I can do a thing,
and he summons Gamabunta.
He summons giant toad guy. And at first, Gamabunta doesn't want to fight because he's just like, why would I help you? But then because Naruto ended up saving his kids at one point, his kids are like, hey, that giant monster over there tried to kill us and Naruto saved us. And he's like, oh.
You tried to kill my kids? You're gonna pay.
Yeah, you should understand. You're parents.
Yeah. You don't touch my kids. You don't threaten my kids.
Yeah, only you're allowed to threaten your kids.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And I do it all the time.
I don't know if you should be admitting this on camera. So, we now have the epic fight of Gamabunta, the chief toad, versus the raccoon demon monster. It has a name. Shukaku. That's the demon's name. Yeah, so it turns out that this raccoon is another like tailed beast demon.
It's the one-tailed beast, right?
Yeah, it's the one-tailed beast.
He's stored inside of Gaara.
So Gaara is like the same as Naruto, but he was kind of weaponized. You come to find out that he could have been the same as Naruto, but because of the way he was treated, because of the way he was brought up, he ended up becoming like this kind of bloodthirsty monster.
And it's kind of a theme, that running theme, where it's just like, a lot of people that started off the very same as Naruto ended up in a very different path because of the way that they were, kind of treated as kids, and they didn't have, that father figure that came and stepped in and took care of them like Naruto did.
Naruto kind of, he has this really innate kind of gift of just kind of like powering his way into your heart. Like if you're his enemy, he'll kind of like talk you into submission. Like, hey, stop being bad, and you're like, okay, I'm sorry.
That's the power of friendship.
Friendship isn't always easy, but there's no doubt it's worth fighting for.
I think he's able to cut through a lot of the BS in people, and he's just like, dude, knock it off.
Stop being an idiot.
You could be so much better than this. Stop it.
He's had nobody.
He's had no family, no one to look after him, and no friends or anything. And the fact that he's turned out as like positive as he has is like a miracle.
They're like, wait, you went through the same stuff that I did?
Yeah, he's really able to connect with people because like he hears about other people's struggles and he's like, I understand what you're going through because that's been my whole life. I get it.
Yeah, Naruto is able to empathize really well.
I think that's the kind of the thing that saves Naruto from being just like a completely insufferable moronic character.
No, I mean, I think that's his greatest quality, right? He cares very deeply and he's very empathetic, and he doesn't want anything bad to happen to anybody that he knows.
And that's how you know he's going to become Hokage, because like that's kind of the qualities you need to become the Hokage.
Right, you got to care about your people. It's really not just about being the strongest, although that's what Naruto thinks it is. But he definitely shows qualities of of a leader.
Their fight's really good though. They both end up like just completely exhausted and just worn out. Like Gaara can't move at the end of the fight. He's just completely incapacitated, and neither can Naruto, but he's still like dragging his sorry ass along the ground with his head just like, come back here and take what's coming to you, I'll bite your legs off. It's that perseverance and just that like the fact that Naruto's strength comes from the fact that he is protecting people that he loves, that really connects with Gaara. He's like, this guy is so strong because he cares about people, because he's willing to fight for them and protects them.
And Gaara realizes that he has that same thing. He has people that
he does.
That cares
because
about.
Up till that point, he was just fighting for himself. Even though Kankuro and Temari are terrified of him because of the monster that he is, they still love him. Going back to the third Hokage, things are not going so well for him in the fight with Orochimaru. I mean, he's held his own. It's basically a 3 versus 1 fight. And he's done a spectacular job for a 70-year-old man fighting off the 3 of the most powerful ninja to have ever lived. He realizes he cannot beat Orochimaru without like making the ultimate sacrifice, and so he pulls up this demon that only he can see, and then he's basically locked in like a battle with Orochimaru to like rip his soul out of his body.
He's realizing that his chakras is diminishing. He's going to be dead here soon, and he's got to do something, because if he doesn't do something, then Orochimaru wins. The third Hokage realizes, like, you know what? If I can't take your soul and kill you, I'm going to take your arms so that you can't perform the jutsus that you're trying to live forever to do.
Which I think is a very fitting way for that to go, because it's almost a fate worse than death for Orochimaru. The ninjas fight back, the rest of the ninja village, and we get to meet all of the families of the like rookie ninjas.
Yep.
that we've met.
The nine Genin, you get to see all of their families interacting in the Counter-Strike.
So it was really cool just kind of getting to see that little bit of them all fighting as like the village. The third Hokage, as like his final words, he's giving like a speech about how the strength of the village doesn't come from him. It comes from the village wanting to protect each other and to maintain that sense of community. So even if he were to die, he's not going to be able to take the village. Because the village will fight back. This kind of marks like the end of an era. Because at this point, I think all of the characters, they have to grow up now. They realize like, oh, this is what it means to be a ninja. I did like this arc a lot. A lot happened in kind of a short period of time, so it almost felt like kind of a half arc. Or like it was just kind of all smushed together really quickly. The fight with the Hokage and Orochimaru was really good. All the other fights were really good. Naruto's fight with Gaara was awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say just getting a new technique for Naruto, right? Mm-hmm. He now has two. You know, he has two techniques,
and these are not like minor techniques. These are very advanced, high-level, chakra-intensive techniques. And you know, all the other ninjas, they learn really impressive things too. But like, can they summon a fucking Godzilla frog? So, are you enjoying the show so far?
I am.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah. The other characters, the side characters, definitely make it better. Naruto's still almost.
I think that was kind of the one downfalls of this arc, is that there wasn't a lot of focus on those side characters that we met in the Chunin exam arc. But I did like that we got to spend more time with the Sand Ninja, Temari, Gaara, and Kankuro kind of more in depth. And you kind of learn they're not like evil. They're not bad people. Anyway, that's it for the Konoha Crush arc, I think. Any last words you want to add?
Nope. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. So Narutovember going along really well, really enjoying all of these arcs and episodes and stuff. I'm really enjoying revisiting them. Hello, over. If you've seen Naruto before, I hope you think it's also a great show. If you've never seen it before, check it out. It's really good stuff. There's a lot of good things in there, especially if you're into kind of those older classic animes like Dragon Ball and stuff like that. It's really, really good stuff. Anyway, if you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. You can also head over to Twitter and to Facebook and follow on there. And as always, if you want to know your flicks, you know where to click. I'll see you guys all next time.